Dating a ghost, I was given $1 trillion. During the Kingaming Festival, while visiting my ancestor's grave, I inadvertently brought a cold, eerie male spirit home. Seeing the male spirit just lingering, I tried every way possible to get rid of him. Just as I was about to call a powerful exorcist, strange comments appeared on my screen. The supporting female character plans to ask an exorcist for help, but little did she know the exorcist herself is the female lead. The female lead realizes the male lead's extraordinary identity and decides to cooperate with him, keeping him by her side. Afterwards, he becomes a loyal bodyguard dedicated to protecting her, even handing over his $1 trillion fortune to her. How exciting. My eyes immediately lit up like car headlights. Oh my God, $1 trillion? That's a asterisk 1,000 billion. That day, I decided to go big. I put on a cool, strappy dress and waved towards the corner of my room. Come here, my cute little ghostie. Ha ha ha. Let's see if I can clean out that $1 trillion fortune. I went to pay respects to my ancestors during the Kingaming Festival, but my family got the location wrong, so I ended up paying respects at a lonely, forgotten grave. That night, in a hazy dream, I had a rather indecent fantasy. In a desolate place, without a soul in sight, a tall, well-built man, 1.8 meters, 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders and a slender waist, his face blurry, passionately embraced me. His cold lips repeatedly pressed against mine in an endless stream of kisses. He whispered incessantly, "I am Kian. Save me. I can bring you many good things." I froze, both terrified and wishing I could just sink into the earth from embarrassment. "If you don't say anything, I'll take that as a yes." Just then, my phone rang, pulling me out of the nightmare. Faintly, I could still hear the man's mournful sigh. Goosebumps prickled my neck. It was my younger brother calling, asking if I wanted to grab a late-night snack. I sighed in resignation. "Go ahead, I'm not feeling well." After hanging up, I was drenched in cold sweat, feeling incredibly uncomfortable, so I dragged myself to take a shower. And then, another strange incident occurred. In the misty steam of the bathroom, I instinctively turned my head, as if catching a fleeting glimpse of a shadowy figure standing behind me. He was breathing heavily, his body slightly bent. Panicked, I slipped and fell, twisting my ankle in the process. When I looked closely again, there was no one there. Strange things kept happening in the following days. My glass of water would suddenly turn upside down, half empty. Every night, I'd go to bed feeling bone-chilling cold, as if someone icy was embracing me. Or the way I'd dream of that blurry-faced man every single night, always enticing me into unspeakable acts. I began to realize that I had definitely gotten involved with something unholy. My whole family frantically searched for a master, while I messaged everyone I knew, seeking a powerful expert. Just as I was about to call a renowned exorcist, a series of strange comments appeared before my eyes. The supporting female character accidentally offered prayers at Kian's grave instead of her ancestors, thus pulling him out of his tomb. Currently, Kian is weak and can only cling to the supporting female character. The Taoist the supporting female character is looking for is actually the female lead. The female lead recognizes Kian's extraordinary identity and offers to cooperate, keeping him by her side. Kian has a special constitution, prone to flaring up, so he's almost at his limit. The female lead has a hidden wound, and Kian seduces her. The two become intimately harmonious, and as a result, the female lead realizes this helps strengthen her physique. Later, Kian obediently turns into the female lead's loyal hound, paying her by transferring his entire $1 trillion fortune to her. My eyes gleamed brightly. $1 trillion! I immediately abandoned the idea of finding an exorcist and turned to reassure my family that I was fine, perfectly healthy, and they shouldn't worry. From those lines of text, I finally understood that I was just a minor character in a novel about a ghost husband loving his living wife. I appeared to pull Kian out of his grave and push him into the female lead's arms. But what if Kian can only follow asterisk me right now? Wouldn't that mean my life would blossom from this moment on? I immediately packed my bags and rushed back to the city from my hometown. Some matters weren't convenient to handle in the countryside. By the time I arrived at my rented apartment, it was already 10 p.m. I knew Kian was still somewhere nearby, so I deliberately took a slow, leisurely shower, just like in a shampoo commercial. Sure enough, in the misty haze of the bathroom, that shadowy figure reappeared. Immediately after, a meaningful gasp of breath gently reached my ears. But this time, I wasn't scared anymore. This was a $1 trillion inheritance. Oh my God, I had already formulated the perfect plan in my head. Approach Kian, seduce him to seize his fortune, then contact the female lead to banish him, and conveniently offer her his free love. So I donned a cool, strappy nightgown. Fearing I might be too obvious in my seduction, I didn't rush to Kian's side but instead set up a cocktail table, swaying and sipping my drink. A cold breath touched my shoulder, then slid down to my lips. I heard heavy breathing, struggling to hold back as if on the verge of losing control. After a few drinks, I feigned drunkenness, stumbling onto the bed. Based on my experience over the past few days, Kian could only appear in my dreams. Sure enough, as soon as I closed my eyes, I dreamt of him. He was bare-chested, kneeling by the edge of the bed, leaning in to kiss me continuously. One hand took mine and placed it on his body. Even that close, I still couldn't clearly see his face. It was truly strange. His voice was deep and husky, full of seduction. "Minther, do you want to know what I look like?" I nodded. "Yes." He gently kissed the corner of my mouth. "Don't resist me, I'll show you." I opened my eyes wide, trying to see clearly, but he covered my eyes with his hand and chuckled softly. "Relax." The next moment, he pressed down on me. This time, I didn't resist at all. The feeling was so strange. Both the alcohol and the dream seemed to multiply all my senses. I could even feel every drop of sweat falling from Kian's body. "Good girl, open your eyes." I slowly opened them. Before me was no longer a blurry shadow. A sharp, chiseled face with a dangerous, captivating, and incredibly handsome appearance. I involuntarily trembled. At that moment, Kian held me tightly, a wicked, charming smile on his face. "Good girl, don't resist me." As soon as he kissed me, I suddenly woke up. This wasn't a dream. Kian grasped my hand. "SHHH, you already agreed. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid." Amidst his seductive whispers, I eventually lay still and endured it. The next morning, the sun was high, and my whole body ached as if I had been disassembled and put back together. Kian was still lying peacefully beside me, his hand resting on my waist. I looked at him, a fleeting suspicion crossing my mind. Do ghosts need to sleep? As soon as the thought flashed, Kian opened his eyes and our gazes unexpectedly met. I shrieked, clutching the blanket and rolling off the bed like a ninja, my bare feet hitting the floor. Kian remained seated calmly, his posture as serene as if meditating. My face flushed and I quickly turned my back. Who are you?" From behind, Kian's voice was calm. "Kian, I already told you." I quickly spun around, my eyes wide with shock. "You're a ghost." His gaze was too intense. I shrank back, cowering like a wet kitten. Kian, however, was completely at ease. "Yes, I'm a ghost. If you don't obey me, I'll eat you." He said it as if threatening a child. I said no more, quickly grabbed my phone and clothes and scurried into the bathroom. After changing, I didn't rush out. Instead, I went online to search for information about Kian. A person holding a $1 trillion fortune surely wasn't an ordinary individual when alive. And indeed, the search yielded results. Kian, 36 years old, feared by both the underworld and the righteous, known for his ruthless methods and formidable reputation. Rumor had it that he had too many enemies and was eventually targeted for revenge, disappearing 2 years ago, with the police unable to find a trace. The assets under his name had been frozen, untouchable by anyone. At this moment, a flood of familiar comments reappeared. Kian has lost part of his memory. The female lead promises to help him get revenge. Not finding the information I wanted, I continued to search through the comments. Kian's enemies are also major figures. Revenge won't be easy. Only by gaining Kian's trust will he voluntarily hand over his assets. How much effort did the female lead expend to achieve that? Aha, I get it. To seize his fortune, I need to make him trust me. As I pondered, chin in hand, Kian's voice suddenly echoed in my ear. "Scared now?" I jumped, quickly hid my phone, glanced at the locked door, then turned back to Kian. I nodded furiously, like a pounding garlic clove. "Yes, I'm scared. To say I'm not scared would be a lie. I crave money, not a visit to the king of hell." Kian subtly smirked, his slender fingers stroking my hair, his voice still icy. "Then be a good girl and obey me, and I'll keep you alive." I nodded frantically, as if I'd been granted a pardon. Kian seemed very pleased, rewarding me with a workout session in the bathroom. When he carried me out, I was as limp as a noodle. Kian, I'm a person, not a rag. Kian smiled at that. Exercising with me will make you stronger. You won't feel tired anymore after this. My face turned as red as gack fruit, and I buried it in his chest. I knew, but did he have to be so blunt? At the same time, a thought flashed through my mind. Kian was special and easily stimulated, and he recovered when he was near me. What if I made him fall desperately in love with me before he regained his full power? Wouldn't he willingly hand over his fortune to me then? A bold idea. I immediately started planning to reel in the rich ghost, beginning by attracting him with my appearance. Conflicting, hesitant gestures, a troubled inner world, all were carefully displayed within Kian's sight. That day, while I was at work, a colleague suddenly linked arms with me. Wow, you're living the good life these days, sis. Where did you find your boyfriend? Does he have any brothers? Introduce me to one. She glanced at my neck, her envy practically overflowing. I flinched, quickly covering my neck. Is there something wrong here? Kian had been a bit too passionate lately, leaving marks all over my neck. It took me so much effort to conceal them. My colleague scoffed. Oh, come on, we're grown-ups. Everyone understands. You've been single for so long, craving love. Just introduce me to his brothers and I'll give you a red envelope. I quickly put on a distressed expression, feigning misery. Oh, please don't mention it, sis. I'm so conflicted. My feelings for him are complicated. My colleague looked incredibly curious. What is it? What happened? Ever since I've been with Kian, I'm the only one who can see him. Others can't. He can't leave my side now. Whenever I go to work, he follows, complaining about my job but still helping me. Although I couldn't see Kian's form at the moment, I knew he was close by. So I deliberately sighed and lowered my voice to my colleague. It's like I'm falling for someone I shouldn't. My colleague startled. I was startled too. No, it's nothing like that. I felt a cold breeze on my back. I knew Kian was listening. This is a bit complicated. Basically, I like his looks and his body, but I can't be with him. After all, humans and ghosts are different, right? My colleague didn't understand but still offered advice. Then just live your life to the fullest, enjoy the physical intimacy with him. But seriously, he doesn't have a younger brother? Definitely not, or I wouldn't dare introduce anyone. My colleague left in annoyance. The cold wind around me made me uneasy, so I stood up and headed towards the restroom. As I passed the staircase, a sudden force pulled me. In the dimly lit hallway, Kian pushed me against the wall, gently stroking my hair before smiling and asking, "Do you like me?" I trembled. "You're not here, are you?" I immediately fell silent, my face flushing, and quickly turned my head away. Kian swiftly gripped my chin, forcing me to look straight at him. His face held a triumphant, devilish smile. Humans and ghosts walk different paths. If you want to be with me forever, then become a ghost. I instantly paled, shaking my head frantically. No way, Kian raised an eyebrow. Don't you like me? I gritted my teeth, explaining, I like your looks, but I don't want to die. Just my looks. Kian's eyes were fathomless. I bit my lip, saying nothing. Kian looked at me for a long moment, then suddenly chuckled softly. Just kidding, you're such a fool. He lightly patted my cheek. I won't let you die. Living is the best. His gaze seemed to pierce through me, looking into the distance, his voice laced with a hint of sadness. Just as I was about to act cute to win him over, a cold kiss descended upon my lips, completely different from his previous hasty and rough kisses. This time, it was unusually gentle, as if cherishing and cradling. When the prolonged kiss ended, Kian visibly brightened. Because Min-Thur might like me, but remember, humans and ghosts walk different paths. I foolishly nodded. Kian pinched my cheek. Good girl. Back at work, Kian was sitting by the window opposite me. He rested his chin on his hand, watching me. I bowed my head, my hands busy with work, my heart pounding incessantly. Min-Thur, don't get too deep into acting. Humans and ghosts walk different paths, I muttered to myself 100 times. But if humans and ghosts walk different paths, how can the female lead be with Kian? Where were those comments? I hadn't seen them for days. Focus on work. What are you thinking? My heart rate, which had just stabilized, suddenly accelerated. Why, Kian in that pose with that gaze was simply too captivating. I quickly pressed my lips together, afraid someone might notice. Kian leaned closer, a cunning smile on his face. Why aren't you off work yet? He took my hand and swung it back and forth. I mumbled softly, I won't forgive you. Kian chuckled at me, embracing me and kissing me a few times. All right, no forgiveness. Then I'll take you shopping. Use my card for whatever you want. I suddenly remembered and deliberately asked, You're dead. Where did you get a card? Kian smiled. Haven't you already looked up my information? Just then, a girl in a baseball jacket stopped me, her face wary as she looked at Kian. I froze. She could see Kian. Finally, the comments I'd been waiting for appeared. Here she is, the female lead is here. The story's a bit off, but Kian finally meets the female lead. Only the female lead can handle Kian and help him get revenge. This girl has bothered Kian for long enough. She should know when to quit. The female lead will take Kian away, saying it's to save this girl. If you're smart, don't refuse the female lead's offer. Only then did I realize she was the female lead, Lyra. She looked at me, her voice slowly rising. Miss, why is there such dark aura surrounding you? He must have been clinging to you for a long time now. Her gaze towards Kian was filled with hostility. I can help you get rid of him and ensure your safety. Kian, who had been lazy moments ago, now became cold, his voice calm. Minthur, do you trust me? Without a second thought, I immediately nodded. I trust you, Kian. I haven't even got my hands on that $1 trillion yet. How can I let Lyra take Kian away? A smile bloomed on Kian's lips again. He gently stroked my head. Truly a good girl. Immediately after, his form shifted slightly and he entered my body. It was an indescribably ethereal feeling, a little uncomfortable actually. Kian's gentle voice echoed in my ear. Don't resist, it's all right. This way she can't do anything to me. Lyra saw this and became both angry and worried. Are you crazy? Letting him possess you will shorten your lifespan. Kian calmly replied. No, I'm not just some petty evil spirit. I let out a sigh of relief. I trust him. I just need to make money first. Just get the money. But when it reached Kian's ears, that sentence transformed into, it turns out I like you. His mood became even more cheerful. The screen continuously scrolled through comments. Oh, so this cannon fodder is actually the villain. I can't stand it anymore. Can we get rid of her soon? Kian is the female lead's powerful aide. With him backing her up, it's like hacking the game, and suddenly this annoying troublemaker appears. The cannon fodder has played her part, so just disappear already. Why cling to Kian? Does she like him? Humans and spirits are different, okay? Not everyone has a special constitution like the female lead to live with a ghost. This cannon fodder is really digging her own grave. And hey, Kian and this cannon fodder have already slept together. He's tainted now, no longer worthy of the female lead. If I see this turn out well, I'm sending a real knife. It's all because of this cannon fodder. When will she die? This time, the comments were aggressively hateful, making me incredibly annoyed. I didn't care about ghosts, husbands, male or female leads, revenge, or missions. All I knew was that Kian was only out because of me, and I wanted his love. Kian seemed to sense my unhappiness, letting out a subtle tusk. Immediately after, the lines of comments before my eyes dissolved into smoke and my whole body trembled. Kian. He could see the comment screen too? Oh no. At this moment, Kian's voice softened, reassuring me. When I possess you, I can feel your emotions. Come with me to a place that will definitely cheer you up. Really? Is it just a coincidence? I nodded uneasily. Just as I turned to leave, Lyra blocked my way. She handed me a business card with an annoyed expression. Call me anytime if anything happens. Many people are enchanted by spirits and end up regretting it. I hesitated slightly but still took the business card. My finger brushed Lyra's hand. In that instant, a series of negative comments as vicious as blood appeared from Lyra herself. I gasped, stumbling back a few steps. What's wrong with you? I looked closely again. Lyra was completely normal. Oh, I tried to reach out my hand again, intending to confirm if those comments were truly emanating from her, but Kian urged me on. Let's go. I can't stay inside you for long. If I stay out too long, she might capture me. I withdrew my hand, turned, and left with Kian. Soon after, Kian exited my body. I was a bit surprised. He didn't fight Lyra. Couldn't he command both yin and yang with an IQ that spanned heaven and earth? Kian gave me a cold stare as if I were an idiot. Right now I'm a ghost and she's a Taoist. She restrains me. He added, if I fully recover my abilities, she's nothing to me. I murmured, oh, and said nothing more. Kian moved closer to me. Why don't you ask me how to recover? I blinked. So, how do you recover? Kian leaned down and gently kissed my lips, his tone teasing. Thanks to you, Minthur. I'm afraid you can't handle it, so I haven't used my full strength yet. You need to work harder. Good girl. Lately, I'd noticed my physical health had significantly improved and my spirits were much better. But who cared if he recovered or not? I quickly ran off. Kian laughed heartily behind me, not forgetting to remind me, you're going the wrong way. It's this way. Under Kian's guidance, I arrived at an underground casino. He wasn't planning on making me gamble, was he? Kian calmly said, you'll know once you're inside. Be a good girl. I gritted my teeth and stepped in. The interior wasn't filled with smoky haze or boisterous noise. On the contrary, it was very elegant, quiet, and so high-class it barely resembled a casino. Someone approached. "Miss, are you here alone?" Kian spoke up, telling him we wanted to go to the heaven room. I stammered, I want to go to the heaven room, my voice weak and a little fearful. The person assessed me with a smile. "Certainly, please follow me." As he opened the door, inside stood a line of handsome men with six-packs. They wore masks, were shirtless, their hands behind their backs, bodies muscular, with clearly defined abs. My eyes lit up. For a moment I thought it was a male model agency, not a casino. "Tusk!" Kian was displeased. I immediately averted my gaze, laughing nervously. With strangers present, I couldn't ask directly. Luckily, Kian took the initiative. "You'll play against all 8 of them. If you win, both the men and the money are yours. But I'm just a daydreamer. Don't be scared, I'm here." Following Kian's instructions, I issued a challenge. When surrounded by the 8 men, I no longer felt excited, only a little scared. "Miss, the minimum bet in the heaven room is 10 million. Please, 10 million. Kian, you've ruined me." Kian gently told them she's betting herself. I took a deep breath. I'm betting myself. My heart was in a tangled mess. Was I worth 10 million? The game began. The dealer dealt the cards. At first, I was very worried, afraid I wouldn't be able to escape this casino, but I quickly realized my worries were unfounded. Kian was like a game hacker, sitting beside me, telling me exactly what to play, winning game after game. The stack of chips in front of me grew higher and higher, and the corner of my mouth curled upwards. After winning 8 consecutive games, Kian rested his chin in his hand and calmly asked, "Had fun yet?" I nodded. "Probably a few 100 million, right?" "Hee. The next you have to play by yourself." I was startled. What did he mean? Just then, a man with a buzz cut walked in, his eyes sharp as knives, his presence intimidating. Everyone in the room automatically made way. He sat opposite me, and just one look from him made my legs tremble. He said in a deep voice, "Ms. Ha's card playing technique looks very familiar." There were cameras in the room. He must have seen everything that just happened. My identity had probably been investigated too. I glanced at Kian. He said, "His name is Quinn, the owner of this casino and one of my former subordinates. I need to go retrieve something. You handle things temporarily, all right? About 10 minutes at most, don't worry." With that, Kian vanished and reappeared, and my heart started pounding. Quinn glared, firing questions at me. "What's your relationship with that guy?" That guy here clearly referred to Kian. I subtly pinched my thigh, trying to appear composed. These tricks were all taught by him. "What do you think we are?" Quinn must have investigated and was certain Kian, and I had no prior connection. "Come on, quickly invent a perfect identity." My mind had just been flashing with a dozen roles to play childhood friend, classmate, first love, but I absolutely didn't dare to dream of words like girlfriend, wife, or lover. Yet, as soon as Quinn opened his mouth, he blurted out, "Sister-in-law?" I reluctantly accepted this identity. Quinn immediately became agitated after hearing that. "I knew it. Your card-playing style is exactly like the boss's. He must have taught you personally. The boss once said he wouldn't teach his gambling techniques to anyone except his wife." He mumbled, "No wonder I couldn't find any connection between you and the boss no matter how much I investigated. He must have protected you very well, making it hard for anyone to find out." Quinn stood up and approached me, his eyes red with emotion. "Sister-in-law, the boss has been missing for 2 years. Do you have any news of him?" I pressed my lips together. "Kian." No, Kian was now deceased. Did Quinn not know or not believe it? I remained silent. Quinn grew impatient. "So, when was the last time you saw the boss?" Kian's situation was too complicated. I didn't want to get too deeply involved, fearing I wouldn't be able to extricate myself later. I softly said, "I'm sorry." Quinn's eyes fell. "It's all right, I understand." After the boss disappeared, the whole syndicate scattered. Everyone was afraid of getting implicated. "Sister-in-law, according to the rules, this pile of chips and those men are all yours now. Give me your account number, and the money will be gradually transferred. As for them, do you want to take them with you, or should I have someone deliver them?" The topic shifted as quickly as a spinning top. Before I could fully recover from the shock of the unexpected fortune, the 8 male models simultaneously removed their masks. Just one handsome man could make flowers blush and the moon hide in shame. Now all of them were heartthrobs. Before I could fully regain my composure, Kian, I don't know when, had returned. Hearing the title sister-in-law, he cast a meaningful glance at me. "Sister-in-law." I stiffened, feeling as though I'd been caught red-handed, my face flushing scarlet. I cleared my throat quickly. You can keep them, they wouldn't be of any use to me. The 8 supermodels simultaneously knelt. Please, sister-in-law, let us follow you. What kind of bizarre situation is this? Quinn explained. That's the casino's rule. If sister-in-law doesn't accept them, I'll chop off their limbs and kick them onto the streets. That brutal? Kian casually said. Just take them along. You'll need them later. If he said so, then all right, follow me. It felt like I had just redeemed 8 handsome men from a pleasure den. Leaving the casino, I looked at the long string of numbers in my account and laughed until I was breathless. Kian gently tapped my head, his eyes firm but indulgent. You've got a knack for this, so from now on, you won't even need to sleep to make more money, right? I was delighted. Does that mean you intend to leave your assets to me? If so, then I won't pursue the matter of you using me anymore. Back at the office, Kian had once said he would take me to retrieve something. Lyra had interrupted, but ultimately the goal was achieved. What was that item anyway? No, I immediately suppressed my curiosity. The more you know, the faster you die. I'm just an ordinary person, I'll take the money and run. Take the money and run. Arriving back at my apartment complex, I looked back at the 8 men. When they left the casino, each was given a t-shirt. Otherwise, passers-by would probably have frozen in awe, but even with shirts on, their charisma still exploded. Pedestrians seeing me with a group of male gods automatically gave us a few meters of space. I said helplessly, you guys find your own places to stay. My apartment can't fit all of you. My tiny 45 square meter apartment, where would I put a whole group of men? They looked embarrassed. We don't have a place and we don't have money. I started to suspect if the casino couldn't afford to keep them and was just dumping them on me. But then I reconsidered. I had just won a few $100 million, so it wasn't that bad. I pulled out my wallet and gave each of them a few million to temporarily rent a hotel. Tomorrow, go find work. I'll call if I need anything. I emphasized, even though you're my people now, I don't have anything to order you to do at the moment. So I won't pay you, you're all on your own. 8 hungry mouths eat a lot of rice. Understood, they chorused. After sending them off, I leisurely entered the elevator. Kian chuckled heartily. Now you're a person with hundreds of billions in your hands. Aren't you going to relax a bit? I laughed cheerfully. I want to, but not now. I know my own capabilities. I don't dream of starting a business or getting rich. Just keeping this money intact is a feat in itself. Kian gave me a meaningful glance. I think you're very capable. His tone was incredibly ambiguous. I turned my face away. I don't understand anything you're saying. The elevator arrived, and I darted out like a fleeing rabbit, not daring to look at him the entire way. Kian said nothing, just leisurely followed me into the apartment, then incredibly lively, pinned me against the door. A cool kiss descended. A little training? No, don't. SHHH, good girl, don't refuse me. You're a good girl, aren't you? Kian saw the business card fallen on the floor and said softly, stay away from Lyra later. I gasped, asking, why? Initially, I had planned to find an opportunity to verify my suspicions from before. Kian tisked, biting my ear. Still thinking random thoughts at a time like this? You're not a good girl anymore. He was getting more and more overbearing. I couldn't resist, but he clearly started the topic. Kian chuckled softly. Good girl. When he bathed me, I was already dozing off. I don't even know how I ended up being carried to bed. The lights went out, and the small apartment was completely silent. Kian held me close, snapped his fingers lightly, and the business card on the floor immediately turned to ashes, blown away by the wind. The so-called main character was ultimately just a pawn, arranged for her entire life. HMPH, trash. A few days later, I intentionally made mistakes at work and got fired, finally able to legitimately lie around and enjoy myself. As I was browsing the web for houses, Kian returned from outside and pressed himself against me. Want to move? I nodded. I could feel Kian's powers slowly recovering. Ever since we returned from the casino, he no longer needed to cling to me. He could go out on his own. I never asked him where he went or what he did. As long as he returned, I would gently and sweetly seduce him, saying a few pleasing words. Each time, Kian would get disoriented by me, then pin me down for training repeatedly. He owned several discreet villas that no enemy could find. I'll give you one? Ah, forget it, I'll just give you all of them. I froze, turning my head to look at him. Before I could say anything, I suddenly saw a flood of comments erupting from above Kian's head. Min Thur is living the dream. Money, houses, a dead husband. Let me transmigrate. Kian has been dealing with quite a few people lately, also finding some clues about his lost memories. If he cooperated with the female lead, well, he wouldn't. But then again, why does he hate the female lead so much? Aren't they the main couple? The female lead has been stalking Kian relentlessly lately. Whenever they meet, they fight like enemies with no romantic chemistry at all, as if they only want to kill each other. Oh my god, what's happening? How much does our Kian love Minther? 2 long years of mental torment and exhaustion, all because of a prayer at his grave for him to return. Like a savior sent from heaven, how could he not fall for her? Wait, where's the main character's love? What about the female lead? Calm down. Maybe she's just plotting something. It's not certain she actually likes Kian. It's hilarious, thinking she can possess this super cool guy to increase her power. Her eyes show no love, only a thirst for power. I was speechless. Could Lyra and Kian have been secretly dating these past few days? I quickly grabbed Kian's hand urgently. Let's transfer the property deeds now, dear. Opportunity knocks, you have to seize it. The more you get, the better. To my surprise, Kian held me back, calmly saying, not so fast. Let Big Black and 2 handle it. Big Black and 2 were the 8 shadows of the night I had recruited from the casino the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the whole set. Just hearing it makes my head spin, what simple names they have. Help me first, Minther. Kian gently flipped me over, pinning me down, his nose brushing against my neck. His voice was unusually deep and husky. I've been using a lot of energy lately, so I'll have to trouble you again, Minther. With that, he gently placed a soft kiss on my lips while the comments kept appearing steadily. So exciting, so exciting. Whatever, I'll ship anyone with chemistry. It turned out all these comments were created by Kian. Oh right, and Lyra too. Damn, thinking about the comments, I distantly returned the kiss. He slightly released me, his voice sweet. You're seeing those words again, aren't you? But his eyes held something terrifying. I panicked, my heart pounding. Was the last time not a coincidence? Kian also saw the comments and could even make them disappear. It's all right, you won't see them anymore in a bit. He gently stroked my cheek, softly saying, don't look, don't believe, just trust me is enough, Minther. Kian leaned down, his lips touching mine again, while simultaneously covering my eyes with his hand. Good girl, close your eyes, don't think about anything. Just feel me, that's enough. I trembled, obediently closing my eyes. I don't know how much time passed, but Kian gently kissed the corner of my eye, whispering, now, my love, open your eyes. I opened my eyes, and just as he said, the comments had completely vanished. A suspicion suddenly arose in my heart. Was it only when Kian was weak that I saw those comments? He held me so gently, coaxing, don't be afraid, they're just trivial things not worth bothering about. I asked curiously, have you always seen those things? He nodded, answering, yes, when I was still in the grave and regained consciousness, I saw them. I meant after he died, when he became a ghost. So when did he know I also saw them? Did he already know my initial purpose in approaching him? My heart was hanging by a thread, anxiously awaiting his answer. That time in the bathroom, in front of the mirror, you weren't focused. I guessed it right away, so I tried to make them disappear later. Kian thought deeply, then said, for me, there's no such thing as destiny, I only believe in myself. He gently kissed my forehead. I hope you do too, Minther. Whether you're the main character or a supporting character, do you really have to live according to a predetermined script? I looked at Kian, his every word like an electric current running through my body. For the first time, I proactively kissed him. Kian's eyes softened, and he embraced the back of my neck, intending to deepen the kiss. I pushed him away, hesitating. Wait a minute. Earlier, a comment said that I wished for Kian to return. I didn't wish for anything like that. Can I ask why you followed me back then? Kian frowned slightly, gently kissed the corner of my mouth, then slowly began to tell his story. Do you remember your wish at the grave? I nodded frantically. I prayed to the heavens to give me a chance to change my life. And also for a boyfriend who is 1.88 meters tall with an 8-pack, so I could count money on his abs. Fearing that the spirits wouldn't respond, I repeated that wish 4 or 5 times with terrifying sincerity. I blinked. Now that I think about it, my wish seems to have come true, hasn't it? Kian chuckled, gently biting my cheek. Our birth charts complement each other. I'm extreme yang and you're extreme yin. Plus, you were so sincere. I felt it and decided to grant your wish. I frowned, skeptical. Is that so? Why does it sound completely unbelievable to me? Kian nodded seriously. Of course, look, hasn't your wish come true? Well, all right then. As soon as he finished, I saw him trying hard to suppress a laugh. I tricked you. A second later, Kian was clutching his stomach, laughing uncontrollably on top of me. I pushed him away, shouting, tell me quickly, you fraud. He stopped laughing, holding me tightly. All right, all right. He said, back then, I wanted to break free from my shackles, but I was stuck at one step. Because our birth charts are compatible, you could act as a bridge to help me get out. Don't lie to me this time, okay? Are you sure? I couldn't clearly see his expression, but his tone didn't sound like he was lying. I wondered again. Shackles, you were once imprisoned at SHHH Minthur, don't ask anymore. Kian's voice suddenly became serious. I realized I had asked too many questions today. Okay. After Kian's villa was transferred to my name, I moved in. I was trying to figure out how to explain things to my parents to invite them to live with me when my phone rang. Minthur, come home right now, it's urgent. My parents didn't elaborate, just insisted I come home quickly. I had no choice but to take the earliest train back. Kian, knowing about it, told me to go first, and he would handle everything and then come find me. I didn't think much of it. Even if I wanted to help with his matters, I couldn't. As soon as I entered the house, I saw all the elders of my clan sitting around. Everyone looked grim. It's confirmed. Look at the dark aura surrounding this girl. She must have been sacrificing herself to that demon for a while now. Young lady, aren't you afraid of dying? Standing before me was a Taoist holding a compass, his face serious, muttering as if possessed. My parents, seeing this, immediately knelt and pleaded, "Great master, please save my daughter." I quickly helped them up. "Dad, Mom, don't do that." My mother's eyes were swollen red. The great master happened to pass by and discovered that the grave we visited the other day was a malevolent one, suppressing a 1,000-year-old evil spirit inside. We don't know why that demon followed us home. Before, you said you were tangled with something unclean, but then you said you were fine and went back to the city. Minthur, tell Mom honestly, are you being controlled or forced by an evil spirit? Why did you suddenly say you were fine? Just as I was about to speak, the Taoist loudly interrupted. She has been enchanted, willingly serving the evil spirit. If this continues, not only she but your entire family will face misfortune. Hearing this, the elders frantically asked the Taoist what to do. The Taoist stroked his beard, slowly replying, "The evil spirit is not with her right now. As long as she uses a trick to call the evil spirit back and offers a little heart's blood to help me set up a formation, I can suppress it again." Everyone enthusiastically agreed. I didn't object, pretending to meekly agree. As soon as I got back to my room, I immediately messaged Big Black. It was embarrassing. After being with Kian for so long, I had never asked him how to contact him. He always just appeared. But recently, Kian had been sending Big Black to do tasks, so there must be a way to contact him. I asked him to relay a message for me and also called for 5, 6, 7, and 8 to come protect me and my parents. Still uneasy, I immediately called Lyra. Her contact was no longer in my phone, but I still remembered the number perfectly. My intuition told me this Taoist was untrustworthy. Kian was dealing with many enemies right now. Perhaps they had sent someone to cause trouble. Although Lyra also wanted to subdue Kian, she was still the female lead, not a blind Taoist who couldn't distinguish right from wrong. She picked up. "What a coincidence, I'm on my way. We'll be there in about 2 hours. Then she seriously warned, "Absolutely do not let them take your heart's blood. That would be using your body and soul to suppress Kian. Once the formation succeeds, you will die and Kian will also vanish into thin air. How vicious! They must be monitoring you, preventing you from escaping. Try to stall for time until I arrive." My heart raced wildly. "Okay." I hung up, my hands covered in sweat, secretly praying that everyone would arrive in time. My heart felt like it wanted to jump out of my chest. "Okay," quickly hung up the phone, my hands drenched in sweat, desperately hoping they would arrive in time. About 30 minutes later, my second uncle knocked on my door, followed by a Taoist. "Minthur, the great master says we need to prepare. He needs a little heart's blood to draw talismans." We asked, "It's just a light cut on your chest, just a little blood, not deep, don't be scared." Hearing this, I reflexively covered my chest, a flood of unpleasant memories rushing back. "Minthur, don't hesitate anymore," my second uncle urged. I glanced outside and saw 2 unfamiliar young men guarding the door, ready to rush in and hold me. My parents were being held tightly by relatives, both weeping profusely. I backed away, stammering, "No, I'm not ready to face this. Or prepare an ambulance just in case." Second uncle nodded frantically. "All right, I'll call an ambulance. Just let the great master take the blood first." His eyes darkened bitter. "Minthur, lately, several families in our clan have faced continuous misfortunes. Your second cousin's engagement fell apart. Your sister-in-law, 8 months pregnant, lost her baby. Your fourth uncle broke his leg. Minthur, you don't want the Ha family to be completely ruined because of you, do you?" I gritted my teeth. Second uncle, my cousin's engagement fell through because his fiancée was already pregnant. Everyone deliberately took advantage, refusing to pay the betrothal gifts, so the fiancé's family refused. My sister-in-law's pregnancy was unstable. Doctors advised termination, but no one listened. She kept the baby with all sorts of medicine, and the result was a vague 8 months. Then grandmother sleepwalked and terrified my sister-in-law, leading to premature labor and a stillbirth when she went to the hospital for an operation. How is that related to me? And fourth uncle's situation is clearly because his son wouldn't work hard. Fourth uncle went to work as a laborer to earn money for his son's wedding. He was old and careless, falling from the scaffolding. My parents even lent his family money, and I gave his wife 10,000 yuan. Second uncle, is it because I work in the city and rarely come home that all the blame falls on me? I called my mother every week, even when I was with Kian. My mother had told me all these stories. Kian even joked that my family's ancestral grave must be in the wrong spot. I was even worried that my second uncle would blame the misplaced ancestral grave on me. He angrily glared, leaning on his cane. But all those things happened after you mistakenly visited the wrong grave. So many people visited graves, why were you the only one possessed by a ghost? Wasn't it because of you? I shouted, interrupting him, that's because you mistakenly remembered the ancestral grave's location and made me worship at the wrong one, so everything that happened to our family is your fault. You can't argue with me, he snapped in anger. Hold her down so the great master can take her blood. No one is allowed to touch my sister. My younger brother suddenly burst in, panting. He wore his school uniform, standing protectively in front of me, his eyes blazing. Heart's blood, what kind of demonic nonsense is this? It's all rubbish. There are no ghosts in this world. I think it's you guys who have demons in your hearts. I already called the police on my way home. Anyone who dares to touch my sister will end up in jail. Dad, Mom, how can you be so foolish? How can you let people bully my sister like this? My parents, hearing this, immediately broke free and rushed in. Great master, please find another way. There must be another way. My brother glared at my father. The Taoist snorted coldly, glancing at my brother. Young man, you are too naive. That demon is very powerful. Your actions are useless. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. The police won't come. Who knows, perhaps because of you, your family might suffer even more misfortunes. My brother stubbornly retorted, never. I was now certain that this Taoist was sent by Kian's enemies. They wanted to control him and had surely planned everything in advance. But at least now they'd taken a step back and hadn't immediately taken my heart's blood. Before leaving, second uncle gave me another menacing glare. My family of 4 sat in my room, while outside, the Taoist lurked like a hungry tiger, along with the mesmerized clan members. My father beat his chest and stomped his foot. Can I take your place, Minther, my daughter? My mother wiped her tears. We didn't want to believe it either, but the master spoke too truthfully. Besides, everyone in the clan, my brother interrupted, it's all lies, I don't believe it. Sister, tell me, are you enchanted by an evil spirit? I answered firmly, no, if I say no, it's no. But inwardly I flinched slightly. I wasn't possessed by a demon, but there really was a ghost. Just hold on, the police will definitely arrive in less than half an hour. I glanced at the clock. Lyra would arrive in another hour. Time slowly dragged on. My brother kept looking at his watch. Why aren't they here yet? No, I'll call again. Immediately after, the wail of police sirens sounded. I gasped and my brother was overjoyed. I told you. We opened the door and stepped out. Everyone in the living room looked awkward. Right after, there was a knock, knock, knock at the door. My brother ran to open it. The people who entered were 5 and 6. With serious expressions, these 2 glanced around the crowd and asked, "Who called the police?" My brother raised his hand. Me, officers. This evil master says my sister is possessed by a ghost and wants to take her heart's blood for a ritual. He's spreading superstitious nonsense, attempting to harm someone, and hasn't yet succeeded in inflicting injury. My brother stood with his hands on his hips, looking incredibly cool. 5 and 6 nodded and began taking notes. I didn't understand how these 2 became police officers, but they didn't look fake. When they questioned the Taoist, his face turned pale. The crowded room meant questioning everyone took nearly an hour. I felt a little more relieved. 6 signaled me, indicating he wanted to speak privately, then followed me into the bedroom. As soon as the door closed, I couldn't help but ask, "Are you 2 real police officers or fakes? Impersonating an officer is a crime." 6 tusked, pointing to the badge on his chest. "It has a real serial number." My eyes widened. You two used to work at a casino and still managed to pass the exams for a government agency? 6 glared at me. What do we do? What do you mean? Don't talk nonsense when you don't know anything. It sounds like you think we were selling ourselves. Don't ask about other things. There are some things you shouldn't know. In short, your family is in trouble and we've been assigned to protect you. I nodded frantically. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. After we finished talking, there was another knock. 5 and 6 exchanged glances and 5 went to open the door. Standing outside was Lyra. Seeing the police, she paused slightly. Hello, officers. She smiled brightly. I'm here to find my friend Minther. Is this her house? 5 turned to look at me. I quickly went to greet her and pulled Lyra in. Yes, she's my friend. The moment our hands touched, a flurry of negative comments appeared. Minther is truly a troublemaker, calling for the female lead's help and calling the police. Is the law against ghosts? Does she want to send the female lead to jail? You idiot, just die. When will Minther die? I can't stand this stupid villainess anymore. She's truly an obstacle between the male and female leads. The female lead too, someone calls and she comes running. She just wants to see Kian, right? Kian has already slept with Minther, he's tainted. And you still want him? You're both trash with no capabilities except clinging to men. Lyra's eyes sharpened as she shouted, Get lost, all of you. Immediately after, the comments gradually faded and disappeared. I was astonished, my mouth agape. She could see them too. And her comments were even more venomous than Kian's. The whole family fell silent instantly. She smiled awkwardly. Sorry, I'm just crazy. I quickly pulled her into my room. Immediately, 2 bewildered gazes met. You. Both spoke at once, then both fell silent. Finally, Lyra spoke. You called the police, it makes it hard for me to act. Let's talk after they leave. She said, when I just came in, I noticed that all 4 corners of your house, east, west, north, south, have formations set up. If Kian enters, he won't be able to get out. He hasn't arrived yet, right? I shook my head. Not yet. Lyra breathed a sigh of relief. That's good then. I'm confused. Don't you want to subdue him? Lyra nodded. Yes, but not now. I've been investigating him recently and discovered a secret. She glanced at me, blinking, but I bit my lip, not asking immediately. Lyra grew impatient. Aren't you going to ask? What secret? Aren't you curious? You really don't know how to converse. What secret is it? Honestly, I didn't want to know, nor did I dare to know. Lyra lowered her voice mysteriously. A secret about Kian's death. I quickly covered her mouth. All right, I don't want to know. Lyra removed my hand. You have to know because it concerns you. Do you think I'm a loudspeaker, going around telling secrets related to me? Lyra nodded, then pointed to the top of her own head. You see the words on your head, right? Kian also has them on his head. I nodded. She then pointed to my chest. And here you have a scar, right? I was terrified and hugged my chest. How did you know? 4 years ago, after graduation, I attended a farewell party organized by my department. I drank too much and ended up blacking out. I woke up with my chest covered in wounds. At the time, I was scared to death. I reported it to the police and went to the hospital for a checkup. The results showed that the wounds weren't deep, not life-threatening, and not infected. What happened was, when I stepped into the restroom and then returned to the room, my body suddenly stumbled and I hit my face on the coffee table, right on a sharp corner. The wound was identical to a fruit knife left on the table. At that moment, I reflexively put my hands out to brace myself. Combined with the flickering lights and the alcohol making me dizzy and numb, I didn't feel any pain or notice anything, so I just ignored it. The next morning, when I was sober, reflecting on it, the investigation seemed a bit illogical, but the video evidence was right there. Who could I blame now? In the end, the bar compensated me a few tens of millions, and that was that. My hand clutched my chest, my heart pounding. Heart's blood? You mean 4 years ago someone took my heart's blood? Kian died and was imprisoned in his grave because of my heart's blood? Lyra nodded. Exactly. Your birth chart and Kian's are compatible. Your heart's blood is the key to unlocking the formation. That's why you can see the words on our bodies. They prepared for 2 years just to defeat Kian in one blow, but unexpectedly, he still escaped. Now they're playing the same old trick, but this time they want to take your life. I plopped onto the bed, eyes wide. Wait a moment, let me think. Lyra slowly sat down beside me. Take your time. I turned to probe. So you also know that you and Kian are the main male and female leads in a ghostly, tear-jerking romance novel? Lyra snapped her fingers. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. I've seen those words since I was little, knowing I was the female lead, but I don't like living according to a script, so I just live my own way. I am a real person. Whether this world is real or virtual, as long as I am conscious, I don't want to be dictated to. Because I wasn't controlled, the consequence was that all the resentment gathered on me. You must have seen it. The words on me are all bitter. It's also because I didn't listen that Kian got implicated. Lyra looked guilty. He was forced to write until he died. At first, he could escape. The entire space suddenly fell silent. Lyra sighed. So, after becoming a ghost and seeing those lines of text, you understand how much he hated it. The first time I met him, I recognized both of you. I wanted to make amends for him, but he hated me. I wanted to help him get revenge, but he refused. I guess he not only wants revenge on those who killed him, but also on the one who made him die. I immediately guessed it. But that's a matter of two different worlds, isn't it? Exactly. At first, he hadn't reached the end of his lifespan, so he still had a chance. It's true to say that he was a cannon fodder. You should persuade him. I stared blankly. Me persuade him? You're giving me too much credit. Lyra opened her mouth, eventually only sighing. Due to the appearance of 5, 6, and Lyra, the Taoists' plan crumbled and disappeared. But rumors spread throughout the village, from chicken deaths to murder cases decades ago, all blamed on me. I took this opportunity to tell my parents that I had won the lottery and wanted to bring them to live in the city. My younger brother had just finished his university entrance exams and couldn't leave yet. As soon as he heard, he cried buckets of tears. My siblings have made it big and are abandoning me. I'm so miserable. In the end, my parents deliberated and decided to move to the city to rent a house with my brother, conveniently taking care of his studies. In short, I couldn't stay in that village anymore. The night before leaving, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. I suddenly wanted to visit Kian's grave, but I didn't dare to go alone in the pitch-black night with the mountain winds howling. Lyra pulled me along, sighing helplessly. Hey, you're scared to death, but you still insist on going up the mountain? I've already checked. The suppression formation is gone, there's nothing left. I clung tightly to her arm, my legs like jelly. I didn't know why, but I just had to go see. If I didn't, my heart would keep feeling restless, as if I was about to miss something, incredibly uncomfortable. Lyra sighed again. I truly admire you. All right, don't be scared, I'm here. Those small ghosts won't dare to come near. If we meet a fierce demon, I'll carry you and run first, guaranteeing you won't lose any limbs. I nodded quickly, eyes darting left and right. Thanks, remember to carry me with you. Fine, I'll carry you to make it faster. That would be great, my legs would definitely turn to jelly otherwise. So, the two of us talked as we walked to the grave from before. The offerings were still there, the food spoiled or gnawed by wild animals. I took a deep breath, knelt down in the same spot as before. Lyra was surprised. What are you doing? Kian is already out. I didn't answer, repeating my previous action, bowing my head in prayer. Kian, living is the best thing, you told me that yourself. Keep living, Kian. Your lifespan isn't over yet, there's still a chance. Open your eyes, stand up and brush the dirt from your knees, Lyra. Let's go, she nodded. Let's go, stay close to me. After midnight, the yin energy is heavy. I quickly nodded and hugged her tightly. After we left, a whirlwind of wind swirled around the grave. Kian emerged from the vortex, his entire body covered in injuries but without blood, because he was already a ghost, no longer knowing blood. His body only grew fainter and faded away. Quinn rushed out of the shadows, intending to help Kian but couldn't touch him. Now he could see Kian but couldn't touch him. Boss, you're too weak. Don't torment yourself anymore. It's all right if you don't remember, I can take revenge for you. Look, they've been so terrified these past few days, crying and pleading. Quinn's eyes were red-rimmed. Kian looked towards the winding mountain road, the flashlight's beam growing more distant, more faint with each moment. I remember now. 2 years ago, I was hunted down, escaping to this place. When I was restrained by the formation, my heart was pierced, and that's when I realized those people wanted to refine me into an obedient puppet. I struggled, trying to seize a sliver of life, but at that moment, my will was no longer my own. I couldn't move. I was captured, choosing death over becoming a mindless, evil spirit, but I couldn't even commit suicide. I felt my soul being drawn out, my body slowly dying, my consciousness fading. It was also then that I touched upon the secrets of heaven. I saw the person sitting in front of a computer, continuously typing words that determined my fate. When she felt she could no longer control me, she frantically deleted words, retyping them over and over like a madwoman. She muttered, "Paper characters don't need consciousness. Data, code shouldn't awaken. Play your male lead role well. Don't betray me, don't be like the female lead." My enemies wanted to turn me into a puppet. The one who created me wanted to turn me into a vengeful spirit, a backdrop for the story that followed. In the end, I still couldn't resist. This memory was also completely erased. When I awoke again, I saw those lines of text, knowing my situation as if it had been predestined. The formation was broken. I wasn't refined but permanently imprisoned here, waiting to be awakened. At that moment, a clear, ringing voice echoed in my ear. Kian, living is the best thing, you told me that yourself. Keep living, Kian. Your lifespan isn't over yet, there's still a chance. But on that day, I prayed to my ancestors to bless me with a winning lottery ticket. Give me a boyfriend who is 1.88 meters tall with an 8-pack. I want account money on his abs. Oh, sacred ancestors, please grant my wish. By the time Lyra and I returned home, it was 2 a.m. We were both exhausted. Are you still going to a hotel? Want a sleepover with me? Lyra looked a bit troubled. Seeing her reaction, I didn't push it. All right then, be careful getting home and remember to text me when you arrive. She turned and walked away quickly as if being chased by a ghost. Back home, I quickly washed my face and opened the bedroom door. Kian, I nearly stumbled in shock. Kian was sitting on the bed, his form blurry and covered in wounds. I quickly ran to him. What happened to you? I wanted to touch him but was afraid of hurting him more. Kian leaned weakly against me. Minther, it hurts so much. Those words, it hurts so much, felt like they were tearing me apart. I quickly helped him lie down, then locked the door and started to undress. What are you doing? He looked at me, his eyes hazy. I glared, deliberately asking, is that what you want, is that it? I immediately sat on Kian, reaching to pull down his pants. Kian held my hands back. I don't have the strength. Before, whenever he was weak, he'd rely on me. But now that I was like this, he was still holding my hands back. Oh no, could he not even get up? Kian's expression immediately darkened. Right after, he wrapped his arms tightly around my waist, pulling me down. What do you think? His voice was cold and hoarse. I was surprised and winced in pain. Then why are you hesitating? Kian laughed and snorted coldly. It's best not to stop. Even with good health, there are times one gets tired. Conversely, Kian's face flushed. You handle it yourself. Actually, I didn't intend to bother you. I gave him a glare. Do you think I believe that? The answer was the creaking of the bed, nonstop all night. Outside the door, my mother called, Minther, get up, pack your things, let's go. I gritted my teeth, my eyes pleading with Kian. It wasn't until my mother called for the third time that he finally released me, his tone incredibly seductive. Next time, you must obey. I dared not say anything. Stepping out, my face looked as if all my life force had been drained. My parents were startled. I vaguely explained that I had been up all night. And indeed, I had been up all night. My parents finished packing and told me to go to work, warning me not to flaunt my money and to be careful of bad people. They still didn't know I had quit my job, and I didn't tell them. We quickly said goodbye. I rented a hotel, intending to sleep for 3 days and 3 nights straight. When I woke up, Kian was calmly sitting opposite me, drinking tea and gazing out the window. I gritted my teeth in anger. Ghosts drink tea too? Kian's gaze swept over me, cold. Ghosts can also make you. Kian, I threw a pillow at him. Kian caught the pillow, smoothing out the wrinkles. Slept enough, my face flushed crimson, and I immediately turned away. Don't disturb me, I want to sleep. Kian walked over, placed the pillow back in its place, then slowly lay down. Let's sleep together. He reached out and hugged me very obediently, very politely. At this moment, my stomach protested. Kian chuckled softly. I've forgiven you, all right? Let's eat first. He gently pulled me up, and oh my, the table was laden with delicious food. I ordered it for you over the phone. Eat up. I leaned back in my chair, beginning to savor each bite. While eating, my eyes kept drifting to Kian. What? Still want to cause trouble? I glared at him. Do you think I only have those things on my mind? Hey, did that master from before give up so easily? I always had a sense of unease, afraid he was still up to something. But strangely, everything had been unusually quiet these past 2 days. Kian took a sip of tea, his expression serious. Of course not. The day you came back, I anticipated having to use you, so I couldn't return. I dealt with a few people there, making sure they had no time to pay attention to you, so they had to retreat. Oh, those men in black uniforms, they were police, did you know that? Kian nodded. Yes, don't ask unnecessary things. Soon, everything will end. Thinking about what Lyra had said, I opened my mouth to dissuade him, but I didn't know where to start. Who wants to be a ghost? If you live well, no one wants to become a monster, Minther, right? Kian rarely called me by my full name, only that first time he seduced me. He let out a deep sigh. I have no family, no lover, no one to inherit my assets, and now they're frozen in court. He turned to look at me. Understanding his meaning, I gripped his hand tightly. You are the only one with a connection to me. All those assets, feel free to use them. After my death is announced, go see Quinn, he will help you with the procedures. I had gotten what I wanted from the very beginning, but why did my heart feel so heavy? There was even a hint of sadness. I bowed my head, trying to hide the tears that were welling up. You met Quinn already? Yes, when I went to retrieve something the other day, he guessed it, and then met me a few times. I hadn't asked him what was it he went to retrieve that day, and why was he hiding it so carefully? Kian fell silent. It seemed he wanted me not to ask anymore, but I didn't give up. Can't you tell me? Kian chuckled softly. Afraid you'd be scared. I looked up. I want to know. My chopsticks fell from my hand. When I died, my heart was taken. Quinn took it and kept it at the casino. The casino is very complex, a place that can make my enemies wary. That man, Quinn, even asked me. Kian looked at me intently. Do you remember what I told you? You can love me, but remember, ghosts and humans are different. Lately, Kian had become increasingly mysterious, and the time he spent with me was getting shorter and shorter. Finally, half a month passed, and shocking news spread. The dark forces that had run rampant in the capital for decades were completely wiped out. Crimes piled up, connections everywhere. The newspaper even had pictures of 5 and 6. It turned out they were undercover police officers. This news was like an earthquake shaking public opinion, and from it, an old case was also revealed. It was rumored that the person who once commanded the wind and summoned the rain, standing above both the underworld and the righteous in the capital, Kian, had actually been betrayed by an insider and killed by his enemies 2 years ago, dying on a remote mountain without even a grave. And this time, such a large-scale sweep was possible, rumored to be thanks to a mysterious person helping from behind. Who was that person? To this day, it remained a mystery. When Kian came to me, I knew this would be the last time. My nose stung and tears welled up uncontrollable. Kian, he wrapped his arms around me. Hug me once more. I threw myself into his embrace, sobbing. He gently patted my back, his voice deep and warm. Good girl, don't cry, everything is over. He pulled me to sit on a chair. Minther, I am not a good person. Once you step into the underworld, there are only 2 paths, either rise to the top or die. But when I reached the highest position, I realized that path was a dead end. Going to the very end only led to death. I wanted to wash my hands of it, so I cooperated with the police, helping them solve several major cases, one of which involved my younger brother. Kian paused for a moment. The one who betrayed me was him. The younger brother I raised for 10 years. Initially, I intended to groom him as my successor. At that time, he knelt before me pleading, but I didn't help him, because he was too ambitious. If he continued to develop that way, it would kill him. I imprisoned him for a few years, wanting to blunt his sharp edges. After being released from prison, he acted very well with a remorseful appearance that even fooled me. Minther, I should have been able to live like a normal person. I tightly gripped his hand. There's still a chance, Kian. Lyra said your lifespan isn't over yet, she also said you. He shook his head. My body has already become food for wild animals on the mountain. If I want to live again by taking someone else's life, how would I be different from those others? If my soul takes another's body, would I still be me? He smiled lightly. I've done many wicked things. This ending is what I deserve. Minther, don't cry for me. But, Kian helped wipe my tears. You have money, a house, and your husband is dead. Isn't that great? I burst into loud sobs. No, Kian, don't go looking for her, I beg you. Even like this is fine, please. Unexpectedly, Kian nodded. I won't go looking for her anymore. I suddenly looked up. Before I could rejoice, I heard him continue. If I go looking for her, this ghost husband story might cease to exist, and then everyone will disappear. He took a deep breath. I won't look for her anymore, but Minther, I don't want to live like this either. This isn't living. I can't feel temperature, can't taste food, don't know joy, sorrow, or anger. Even when I'm with you, all I have is instinct. Do you understand? My heart felt like it was being squeezed. I had never known that he didn't even have basic emotions. I'm sorry. Kian's eyes were also teary. Hug me one more time, Minther. I hugged him tightly. Tears flowed silently. Cheer up now. You're a lady who owns 10 trillion now. So, he knew everything. I cried even harder. Kian in my arms gradually became translucent and then vanished. But I knew he wasn't dead. I could still feel his power hadn't completely dissipated. Perhaps he would find a place to hide, slowly weaken, waiting until his power completely disappeared, waiting for true death. After my brother finished his university entrance exams, my parents and I moved into the large villa. Every day, I spent money endlessly without needing to strive for anything. Life was not empty at all. Anyone who feels empty definitely hasn't spent enough money. Quinn's casino had closed and returned to its original state. Kian left him a sum of money, enough for him to start over. Big Black and the others also disbanded, each going their own way. Lyra became increasingly famous, becoming a renowned exorcist in the capital. Occasionally, she would come to my house to chat. She said she no longer saw those words. I hadn't seen them for a very long time either. One day, I was strolling in the city with friends and unexpectedly spotted a man who looked remarkably like Kian. My feet froze. For the first time in my life, I felt my morals were truly rotten. I wanted to become his sugar mommy. Thinking it, I did it. I walked up to the man and asked directly, "Are you really short on money?" Everything went surprisingly smoothly. He was only 18, but very calm, just like Kian. His name was also similar, Kian. Getting into bed with him, I felt no pressure, until he uttered, "Good boy." I snapped out of my pleasure. "Kian, shhh, don't resist me." In that moment, I was completely certain it was him. Kian's lips covered tens of thousands of questions in my head. He was like a madman, unable to control himself. You felt it, becoming human again. Excellent. I gritted my teeth. "You bastard." After a passionate night the next morning, I asked him what had happened. He hugged me. "She found me, on the day I almost died." Just as I guessed, Kian had found a place to hide and wait for death, but she arrived first. "Do you hate me?" Kian didn't answer immediately but asked her, "What was your original intention when you created me?" She fell silent for a long time, then said sorry. "I should have respected you. Whether you are fictional or data, once you have consciousness, you are living beings. I'm sorry, Kian." After saying that, she left. When she returned, she adjusted his settings, giving him a chance to live again. I burst out laughing. "How great, from 36 to 18? Kian's expression darkened. "Are you saying I'm old?" I counted on my fingers. You're only 8 or 9 years older than me anyway." Immediately after, my lips were blocked. Kian gritted his teeth. "Now you're the one who's 8 or 9 years older than asterisk me? Sis." I rolled with laughter, pinching his chin, and called him one more time. "Sis, I'll take care of you." Kian snorted softly. "Sis, huh?" I bowed my head and kissed him. "Don't worry, sis will take care of you now." Music.